Hello, friends and beautiful people. It is Kathryn Massell, Elevated Consciousness Coach, 5D Visionary. It is Sunday support. I am freshly showered and smelling like flowers for you all. Let's see. There I am live. Let's see who's going to jump on. Today we're going to explore something it's really simple and fun, and it is evolving your creative ideas and impulses multidimensionally. This is something that I use, that I share with my clients, especially when I'm working with clients where they're really stuck with creating content in their business. So I have clients where I do VIP days with them who are working on something in their spiritual business, and they maybe hit a wall creatively. They have like an impulse for something, to do something, but they can't get past like what is being done or what other people are doing. And they think that this creative impulse has to look like something that came before, and they can't figure out how to put their special flavor or energetic stamp on it to really make it theirs. So this is one of those exercises that if you are kind of hitting a brick wall creatively and you feel like, you know, there's something new that's happening here. I can't really put my finger on it, but I keep having this recurring image or recurring thought. It keeps popping into my mind, but I don't know what to do with it. You know, sometimes we have to move past the linear mind in order to really access these impulses and broaden them and expand them and make them concretized in our 3D reality. And because we are more and more coming online with our multidimensionality, it's so important to be able to tap into that non-linear, beyond the mind, beyond the body aspect of us, where we're already playing in different levels of consciousness. We're already playing in higher dimensional realms. We're already, you know, in the outer realms past 3D and playing there and having experiences there. Why not tap into that and bring that in to what we're doing right now? And you absolutely can do that. And it's actually, in practice, simpler than you might think. And one of the reasons why I love to teach this is because it kind of blows people's minds sometimes that this is such a simple tool. Once you get used to it and kind of get yourself, hi Kathryn, hi Chelsea, and get yourself into the habit of doing this as a practice, it really becomes kind of easy. And a lot of wonderful things that are like just below the surface of your consciousness, and you know, you can release through this process whatever creative idea or impulse is from your linear mind and kind of release it and go non-linear with it, go non-local with it. That's when we know we're tapping into our multidimensionality. And what this is, I have a name for it. I call it psychosynthesis. So what you're doing is you're aligning with the universal mind and synthesizing all aspects, fragments, expressions of you that are already playing in different levels of consciousness, and kind of harnessing that, harnessing your multidimensionality, in other words, through this psychosynthesis process. You know, our creativity, our imaginative impulses, they can be stymied by the part of us that is actually now obsolete. You know, as we're accessing higher frequencies of being, why we get stymied with our ideas sometimes is because we think that if a creative impetus comes to us, that it has to look like something that came before. It has to look like something that someone else is doing. Or it has to be kind of relegated to a category that is known. But here's the thing, folks. As we are accessing more of our multidimensional awareness, we are going more and more into unknown territory. So this is a way to kind of embrace that change and that shift within us, to work with that instead of against it, and see what's there. Really mine this aspect of ourselves for greater creativity, greater imagination, and things that we can then take into our 3D, blend it into our 3D reality and say, oh, okay, well, here are some things that I can blend with this part of 3D, but I've already played with this aspect in 5 or 6 or 7D. There's no need to label a dimensional reality on it, but I'm just using that as an example. But you can take some of what you're accessing in the multidimensional aspect of you and create a blended reality in 3D. Take some things that are already working for you in 3D and blend it with what you're discovering in a process like this. And it can be really fun. That's the thing. And I'm always saying to you guys, and what my spirit team is always saying to me, that, you know, Kathryn, it doesn't have to be work. And I'm a Capricorn, so for me, it's like, oh, I have to go nose to the grindstone a lot of the time to feel like, you know, I'm creating something that's useful or creating something that's important, like I have to work hard for it. And my spirit team is reminding me, and allow me to remind you, it doesn't have to be hard. It can be fun. And actually, the more we engage with this kind of stuff and this practice that I'm going to share with you here today, not only is it fun, but this is when we open up past that survival mode level of consciousness to really let creativity flow. Hi, Anyi. So those of you who are joining, I want to invite you to get a pen and paper, you know, just like I have blank sheets of paper. I try to recycle as much as possible because I'll be honest, I go through a lot of paper. So, you know, just a blank piece of paper, your favorite pen or a pencil. You can use a Sharpie, you know, bust out your Sharpie pack that's got different colors if you want. So let me tell you how this is going to shake out. We're going to do a little exercise where I'm taking you on a little guided journey where we're going to take our consciousness out. We're going to really just let our awareness expand and just kind of marinate in that space for a little bit. And when we do that, we are accessing our multidimensional nature. We are moving beyond the mind and beyond the body. And this is something that you can use as often as you like for really anything you want. Maybe you're a spiritual business owner and you want to use this to bring in new content for something that you're working on. Maybe you feel like, this is something I want to talk about with people. And maybe that ego part of you is arguing like, nobody's going to get that. You're going to be talking to no one. It's going to fall on deaf ears. But maybe when you access this multidimensional aspect of you or aspects of you, you'll get a little nudge or a message like, here's how you make this click. Or here's how you can maybe talk your ego self down into thinking this is something that's viable and could work. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you're a painter. Maybe you create things, textiles, or you paint, or you draw, or you create products. And maybe you're thinking about like something that needs to come up next for you. You know, something a little more innovative, something maybe along the lines of what you're doing or a little different that you could be easily introducing to your clients who already love what you do. Maybe you are really wanting to stop doing some things that you're doing in your business. I like to use this with my clients who do VIP days or who do like structured sessions with me. I offer like a package to my clients who are spiritual entrepreneurs where we sit together over 3 sessions and we do exercises like this to just get the juices flowing past that linear mind aspect of self, past the ego mind that says, no, you can't do that. That's not going to work. No one's done that before. I got news for you folks. We are venturing into a lot of new territory where no one has done certain things before. So who are going to be the innovators? You know, if not you, someone else is going to, you know, take up the reins and be an innovator. There's nothing to be afraid of here. You're just exploring your creativity. And the more open and playful you are with this, you know, the more creative impulses and the next steps tend to show up for you. And so when I use this with my clients who are, you know, really wanting to create something completely different in their business, this can be really, really useful. Because sometimes they'll get messages like, okay, you're holding on to something that is an obsolete part of you. It doesn't really work anymore. You know, you're not really moving forward. You're kind of creating a lateral move in your business and you're doing the same stuff over and over again. And that's why you feel the urge to do something creatively different. And so this can open up a treasure trove of new ideas for you when you use something like this. You know, we still have some fears around doing something new when there's no reason to be afraid. And oftentimes, if there's a lot of fear behind making a big change in your business, or even a little change in your business, or something you're doing in your life, either personally or professionally, there can be a lot of fear around moving into new territory, right? And so another benefit of accessing this space is that you move beyond the fear. And you move into a space where you feel highly supported, you feel highly guided, and maybe even sometimes you have an idea, hi Galia, maybe even sometimes you have an idea like you're super excited about, and you're like, this could work, this is gonna work, I'm gonna just do this, and we get all fired up and we get hot and bothered about it, right? And sometimes this exercise can help you see like, that's great, but maybe you just wanna keep that as a hobby and not do it as a business, right? Because sometimes we want to take something that we're really good at and comes natural to us and we love doing it. Like we really drive a lot of passion and purpose around it, but that doesn't always mean that it translates to a business or something that can be viable in terms of making you money. Sometimes it can, but I've used this sometimes with my clients who have been hot and bothered by an idea and, you know, a big revelation about, I'm going to stop doing this in my business and I'm going to start doing this. And it ends up being something that they love doing and gave them a lot of passion and purpose, now burns them out because now they're worried about having to make money from it. So this can be sometimes a tool that helps people realize that as well. So you're only limited by your own imagination in terms of how you want to use this tool and, you know, how it can help you. And for those of you who are still believing that, you know, you're a certain kind of person that could only ever do this and never had the ability to do that. You know, I don't have this talent. That's not something that comes naturally to me. Or everyone else is so good at this and I'm horrible at it, whatever. That tends to keep us in a survival state or a subsistence level of being. And that automatically shuts down that well or that wellspring, that fount of creativity within us. Whenever we are focused on a lack paradigm or scarcity, what we can't do, what we're not good at, what seems to happen great for everyone else but not for us, we automatically shut off the spigot of creativity. So this can help you move past that too if you're one of those people that's really struggling with that right now. And when we're in that place, it blocks us from this stored consciousness that we are able to tap into or are going to tap into right here in a minute. You know, we have, and we forget that we have fragments, expressions of us because we are multidimensional by nature. We are consciousness as a whole, experiencing as an individuated thread of it in the moment. But if we change the now moment that we're in terms of we expand it out, we realize that the now moment holds many threads or expressions of our consciousness. They're just happening to be in different outer dimensional realms where they're not our certain point of attention or focus at the moment, but they can be when we allow ourselves to kind of expand into the now. Another thing is that our patterning, our conditioning, it overlays our stored consciousness, and the stored consciousness is what we're tapping into when we do an exercise like this. And these stored levels of consciousness, they're ready to be explored. They're ready to be excavated. You know, we wouldn't have the awareness of them or tools like I'm going to show you here that are actually really simple if it wasn't meant for us to, you know, be the time for us to go into these places and really explore and really excavate and discover and take some of that really powerful information and bring it back and create a blended reality with our 3D where we feel like I'm living multidimensional every day. And you can have that for yourself, but you have to be open. You have to be willing to explore. You have to be willing to play. You have to be willing to have a very healthy sense of curiosity and sense of wonder about something like this right here. You know, we can either submit to the patterns of who we think we've been, or we can move past that conditioning and say, you know what? I'm ready to just try something new. I'm ready to just be open to what could happen here. And when we do that, we can let go of outcomes by just being in the sense of, well, let's just play with this and see what happens. And it's really refreshing, isn't it? When we can just be in a place where we can let go of an outcome. Like it has to look like this, or it has to show up like that. It has to show up tomorrow, or it has to show up this way. This person has to deliver it. The universe has to make it show up in exactly this way. It's very liberating to our multidimensional consciousness to be able to detach from outcomes and just play, just open up. Because this is the key to that fount of creativity and imagination. So let's play, shall we? And you may want to just get some water. Get yourself some water, just relax into your space. Go ahead and get your pen and paper. Even if all you have is like a lined notebook, that's okay too. Get whatever you have handy. Don't stress out about having the perfect stuff right now, because you can play with this more on your own. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to guide you through a really, really simple, engaging, guided meditation that allows you to take your awareness kind of up and out. If you follow me and you know I talk about time and timelines a lot, you know, when we are on the linear mind continuum of our 3D reality, we tend to think of it as a continuum. Think of that as an x-axis, as a grid, right? X-axis. The y-axis of that meaning a level of consciousness, because the 3D linear continuum is a level of consciousness. There is a y-axis, and that's a level of consciousness. That's the eternal now. Because in reality, there is only 0 time, eternal now time. And 3D time is just an expression within that bubble of consciousness. So what we're doing is taking our awareness up and out and expanding into that, okay? So for those of you who like a visual, that might help. So just relax into the space that you're in. Maybe, you know, make sure you can close the door to wherever you are so you're not going to be disturbed for the next 20 minutes or so. And just kind of roll your shoulders back and just move your head from side to side. Release any tension in the jaw and in the neck. You may want to just stretch your shoulders out. Whenever you expand out like this in your chest and open up your chest, you're opening up your heart center, and this is the command center of ascended or elevated consciousness. And it kind of cues the heart to open up and get ready, like, here comes something big. So let's get in a gesture of receiving that, okay? And just kind of wiggle your body a little bit and just feel alive in the space that you're in. Become aware of the space that you're taking up. And now just go ahead and close your eyes. And don't worry, I'll guide you here. All you have to do is listen to the sound of my voice. Just follow my voice. Just go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. And just let anything go. Anything that you have to do, you think that you should be doing now instead of listening to this. You know, bills you have to pay or somebody you have to call. This is the ego self kind of, you know, poking at you and saying, hey, we got to do this, we got to do this. Any kind of busy work, stuff like that, just gently tell your ego self, like, I promise we'll get to that when this is done. But this is my time now to explore something bigger than the tasks I have to complete or the things that I have to do. I promise I'll get to them. Just make that little promise to yourself. Sometimes that helps the monkey chatter in the mind go away, or at least subside. And just take another deep breath in and out, and just feel your body settle even more as you do that. And now just call in God self, God self, God self. God self, God self, God self. God self, God self, God self. And you may feel just a subtle shift here as you do that. And just take a deep breath in and feel yourself expand into the fullness of this subtle energetic shift, into that higher perspective of you. And as you focus on the breath coming in and out, you're more aware of the eternal nature of now. That now is always moving, always expanding. The eternal now moment is infinite. It is eternal. And it holds within it all the possibilities and probabilities and ways of being that are accessible to you, if you choose to make that your point of attention. If you choose to turn your focus to that. Just know that you're already accessing information, wisdom that is beyond the mind, beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the body. And call in all fragments, expressions of you, where you're exploring timelines of contrast, realities, space dimensions that are not aligned with your highest or best good at the moment. And call all those pieces in. Imagine calling them right into your heart space. You may see them as lights, little filaments, little orbs, bubbles. Just bring it all into the heart space. Collect yourself into wholeness, in other words. And then just breathe in and out. Feel how much bigger you feel. Now imagine a white light, a very bright, luminous light just above the top of the head. You could see it as a sphere or a halo. This is 12D crystalline diamond light, bringing in up to 12 dimensions of your awareness and bringing this showering down through the physical being, informing you in all these 12 dimensional levels of awareness and bringing in a kind of neutrality and stillness as you bring this energetic light down through the body, clearing and cleansing all fields in and around your physical body. Continuing to bring this down through the belly and swirling in the sacral. This is your energetic center of creativity. Just feel this energy swirling around like the bowl of your belly, just taking in all this beautiful light, cleansing and informing you at the same time of who you truly are, of all the imagination and creativity that you possess that is as yet perhaps untapped. And just feel that kind of collect there and enliven that space in the sacral, just above the belly button and behind the belly button. And now continuing to bring this down through the hips, down through the legs, all the way down and out through the soles of the feet. And just taking this energy down through all the layers of the earth, down through dirt and rock and crystal, and taking it down into the iron crystalline core of Terra. This is simply the dimensional aspect that I work with for Mother Earth. You may work with Gaia, you may just call her Mother Earth. Terra is the reclaimed soul of Gaia, the star being that came here to incarnate and help us all ascend. The more we wake up, the more we reclaim Terra. So this is simply the energetic equivalent that I work with Terra now at this point. And as you connect with that crystalline iron core, just saying, I am grounded, I am grounded, I am grounded. And imagine being blessed by all the knowledge, abundance, and wisdom that Mother Earth holds for you. And now I want you to imagine taking in the pranic breath, pulling from above and below simultaneously from this halo or sphere of light above, from the crystalline core of Mother Earth below, breathing in simultaneously from both directions. And exhaling into the heart, and expanding your energy out even more. And inhaling with the pranic breath again, above and below simultaneously. This may feel awkward at first, but the more you do it, you'll get more used to it. And exhaling in and out from the heart, expanding the heart out. And on the third inhale, above and below simultaneously, as you breathe out, I want you to imagine a 12-pointed star expanding out from the center of your heart. This dodecahedron or 12-pointed star is your personal Merkaba. It's like your eternal now starship and allows you to travel multidimensionally in safety, being protected, being supported with the navigation of optimal guidance of your God self. And no one can mess with your Merkaba. And this makes you feel safer. This makes you feel protected. It allows you to explore through the matrices that are only aligned with unconditional love and support, the divine, universal, or Christos matrix of the organic ascension matrix. And just feel that safety. And if you need to expand this Merkaba out even further, it should be expanded past your physical being so that you are encased in this Merkaba, this eternal now starship. And just allow your energy to feel like it's filling up this starship. And as you explore here, allow yourself to just release any beliefs of a present level of consciousness that holds most, if not all, of your awareness, that operates just in linear time. And just know and accept and surrender to the fact that you're exploring the parameters of your humanity and divinity as they are enmeshed together, as they are married in this beautiful choreography. And you're just allowing yourself to expand further. Imagine that you are exploring your own personal universe here. And now bring to your focus and attention something that you may be working on creatively. Maybe you have an idea that you would like more information about. A creative impulse that kind of caught your attention and made you kind of catch your breath because it felt really, really alarming in its bigness almost. And for those of you who maybe felt like or are feeling like it's too big for me or this is not for me, all the more reason to focus on this when you are in the bigness of you. Just bring this to your focus and attention, whatever this idea is, new project, something you're desiring to see manifested in physical 3D reality. Maybe it was just a thought that came to you in a dream and stayed with you upon waking. Maybe this has been a recurring theme. Maybe you're getting angel numbers or messages when you think of this thing. Whatever that is, just ask that this multidimensional aspects of you that you're exploring here in the safety of your eternal now starship, your 12-pointed star, Merkaba, that you can expand further on this idea, that this journey through your personal universe can bring new levels of awareness, new messages for you to explore. This could be an image, could be words that are coming in, could be colors. Know that the greater consciousness of you has chosen a human form to be your focal point for the moment. In the snapshot of time that we're in as compared to the eternal now, our human beingness is just an expression or a thread of consciousness that we're exploring at this moment, at this snapshot. in the infinite of the eternal now. But that doesn't mean it's discounted. That doesn't mean it's not important. That doesn't mean that there isn't something important for you to share. You as this expression, as a human, in terms of your greater consciousness, that's not to be discounted. It's not to be diminished. You're here to bring something special into your life that can spread joy, not only to yourself, but to those you serve in your community, serving the planet at large. Anytime we explore and beckon to our creativity, we are offering a ripple effect to the planet that serves the greatness of the human family as a whole. Denying this creativity is denying the expansion of humanity itself. And you may be tapping into many different existences here, and they're unfolding in parallel timelines, universes, dimensions, realities. Which one is calling your attention at this moment? Maybe you feel your starship is zigzagging to the left or to the right. If you feel like you are being moved towards the left, it's possible that you're going towards what we would consider to be a parallel timeline because everything is now, but it may be something that you have recognition of as a past life. Maybe there's a skill or a talent that you explored then that can be woven into who you are now. If you feel like your eternal now starship is being pulled to the right, there may be a parallel timeline that has an expression as a future self. In fact, maybe it is a future self that is communicating to you right now, whispering to you something that it has already accomplished, it has already done. And it's maybe showing you something that feels a little more concrete or tangible than where you're at in your current snapshot of reality, or what you would call your now dominant timeline. Whatever is showing itself to you, whatever is making itself known to you, just open yourself up to it with curiosity. And those of you who feel like you're not going to break your concentration, feel free to pick up your pen and paper and start writing words or maybe symbols. It could be forms or shapes. Maybe you're compelled to draw a certain figure, an entity, a being that is making itself known to you. And just allow yourself to release the influences of the small self, or even the human form that creates limitations for you, and the deeper understanding of what you're being shown here. Embrace the new horizons being offered here with a sense of freedom, with a sense of being liberated, with a sense of relief, like, I'm just playing here, I'm just exploring. I'm getting to know and feel more familiar with my bigness, my expansiveness and my eternal nature of who I am, who I really am as a spirit being, exploring a human point of attention just at the moment. I am bigger than that. I remember who I am. I remember that I am many, many threads of consciousness at once. And all of these threads of consciousness are able to inform you where you're at in your human point of attention, enriching and enhancing that experience, not only for you, but for the greater good of all. And just simply ask now that you are happy to exchange this wisdom. Maybe it's an offering of healing. Maybe it's an offering of information that allows a greater evolution of who you are as a human. Allow this exchange to take place. Maybe you feel like you're having an exchange with a past self. Simply allow it to happen, and always with gratitude, always thanking this expression of you, this information, this wisdom coming in. Maybe you're having an exchange with a future self. Thank it. Even if you can't fully suss out what it is yet, if it's something that's coming in that has a sense of relief, an overall sense of well-being to it, that is contributing to the energetic vibration of you in a positive way. Thank this energy. And any other information that may be available to you in this space, simply ask it to come in. Take a moment or two and become aware of any presence that is expanding out, bringing in more information, bringing in more light, bringing in maybe a new feeling to you. Be aware that sometimes we bring in new feelings that can trigger the central nervous system in a way where we panic. Just allow that and surrender to the fact that anything that's coming in for you in this space has only the highest and best intentions for your evolution and for your growth. So simply take a deep breath in and know that that is true. I want you to thank the energy here. When you do this on your own or practice this on your own, you may spend as much time here as you like. But as you take a deep breath in, begin to pull your energy back. Pull back this 12D Merkaba. Imagine as you inhale, pulling it back into your heart center and collapsing the energy there as you breathe out. Imagine taking your focus and attention to this halo or sphere of light that is just above the top of the head. And as you inhale, imagine collapsing this down through your being, all the way down through the body, and collapsing it into the crystalline core of the earth. And saying, I am grounded, I am grounded, I am grounded. And then inhale and exhale. And some of you may have gone really far out here, so you want to make sure that you're grounded. So open your eyes. You may want to shift your body a little bit as you look around to take in the space that you're in. Become aware of your surroundings. Make a visual connection with my printer over there, the brick wall over there, my dog laying on the floor there. Get yourself grounded back into your 3D reality. Drink some water. And while the energy is still fresh here, look at what you drew or what messages you wrote down, what words, shapes. Maybe you just wrote down the name of a color. This is the time to expand on this. While the energy is still fresh within you and you still have this kind of wellspring open, okay, and tangible and close to you, because you're still kind of close to that eternal aspect of you. Fill in some spaces here that feel like, okay, what I brought in maybe isn't complete. Maybe there's something else that's coming in. Maybe you feel you want to journal. Maybe you want to write a couple paragraphs down. Maybe you want to bust out, your Sharpies and fill in colors to the images or shapes or forms that you have. And so I'm not going to talk too much more here, but I just want to make sure everybody's back and everybody is grounded. And see if you have any questions about this process. But I encourage you, after this is over and I stop this recording, spend some time with this. Really sit with this. Especially those of you who feel like you're right at the tip, or something's on the tip of your tongue. You're at the tipping point of moving into a new thing, a new idea, a new way of being. A new creative idea that maybe has some more tangibility to it now. It maybe has, filled itself in a little bit more, and it's not rough edges, but it feels softer. It feels more approachable. It feels more tangible, whatever that is. But does anyone have any questions here or need a little more guidance? And you can also add comments in here. If you're watching the replay, you can add comments or, do whatever you need to do. Some of you, I tend to put people to sleep when I do this kind of work with people too, so that might have happened. And also, hey David, yes, you do need to catch this replay. Be aware of what comes in during dream time, because sometimes the first time we do this, so we're introducing ourselves to this energy the very first time, you know, sometimes that ego level of self or our subconscious kind of resists. So do this a couple times, you know, give yourself the space and the grace to explore this a little bit more, and open up to the fact that you may have information come in during dream time. So if you're like me, I keep a dream journal by my bed. I always have a notebook next to my bed, always, always, always. And sometimes I'll wake up at 4:44 a.m. and need to write some things down. And I don't write down a whole manifesto. I'll just write a couple words, because what that does is it triggers your subconscious to have recall of what the fullness was of that upon waking. Because after the first 10 minutes of waking, we tend to lose a lot of what happened when we go into a theta or even a delta state or even an alpha state. And when we have a couple words just written down, sometimes that jogs the memory just enough that we can start to fill in the blanks in a lot more detail later on. So be open to that too. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope this was fun. This has been another great Sunday support. Thanks for all of you who joined me here. I want to wish you lots of love and peace in your week, and have fun creating. Bye-bye.